Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Genius Bruisers. Yeah, like what the hell's a genius bruiser? Well, you know what? This topic, it don't mean to be that deep, but it's just it's something I think about a lot. Understand, I was working on an article for O'Shea Duke Jackson's website, the Negro Manosphere, and check it out when you get a chance. Right, really check that. Really check his joint out. Got some good stuff on it. And one thing when I work on articles, I like to put on some music from like some jazz. I'll put on some jazz. Like I specifically put on this piece called "And the Truth Will Always Be" by Pat Metheny, and I will put that on. I put on the theme from Man of Steel, right? But then it's two other themes I will put on. I'll play them in a rotation. One is General Zod's theme from the Man of Steel, and the other one is Bane's theme. And I thought about that, right? I was like, damn, you know what? I have a real affinity for those genius bruiser types. See, the genius bruiser is a common TV trope. Usually it means that guy who's like some big brute motherfucker, but they also a fucking genius. Like Beast from the X-Men. I mean, when you look up TV tropes and genius bruiser, you'll see his picture. Very smart, but can still kick your ass. And you think about somebody like General Zod in the Man of Steel movie, and this guy was bred for war. And then you think about Bane. I mean, from the Dark Knight Returns. I mean, that dude was like philosophical as hell. I mean, one of his one of my favorite statements from that movie, favorite quote. Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you. I was like, man, that dude was like philosophical as hell. And then I'm gonna tell you what. If y'all seen the thumbnail, my favorite genius bruiser was Ben Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I mean, that dude was a ruthless tactician, strategist. I mean, but that dude also, shoot, he was a bruiser. He beat the shit out your ass. He was cerebral and shit. That motherfucker was that dude was a warrior, but a smart warrior though, genius warrior. And I relate to that just from a personal thing because I think I only have like in all my videos, I only have one like full body shot of me, right? Like, well, one or two. And y'all gotta go through my archives to see it. But people don't realize who don't see me up close. I'm a big motherfucker. I mean, I ain't like 6 feet tall or anything. About between 5'10" and 5'11", like literally barefoot. But I weigh about like 225, and I do hit the weights. Now, if I could, if I really went hard, I still would have like relatively low body fat. I could lose 10 pounds, and my body fat's like for my age is very good, but also smarter than I let on. See, y'all just hear me talk about relationships and stuff. Y'all don't want me to get deep into some other stuff. I mean, we can go deep on a lot of subjects. Even something like eugenics or something, I can go deep with y'all. So I relate to that. And, one of the things, if I apply that to just black men, really any man, really. But I'll say with black men, if you notice in this culture, black men, we're celebrated for our bodies. If you think about it, if you really look at it, we're celebrated for our bodies, not our intellect. That's the whole thing that thinking black men have a problem with. A lot of times we're not celebrated for intellectual stuff. Even though you got like 14-year-old black boys and stuff going to college. I mean, you got little dudes inventing stuff, inventing new things, but they not celebrate. You know, they get passed around on social media like, oh yeah, look. But then that brother who's like, 17, ready to jump to the NBA, everybody's talking about him. That's a physical thing. And that's one of the things in this country, though, if you really look at the history. The black man has always been valued for his body, even in relationships. I mean, despite all this stuff we talk about, game and, getting money, the best way to really attract a woman, and that's not even black women, but just women of all races, is a brother having a nice body and knowing when to shut the fuck up. And I've had some dudes say that in my comments. They say, no matter what they had going on for them, no matter how much money they had, no matter what their degrees, they knew they were getting women just on their physical appearance. And that's the thing with black men. That's what our value is. If you look at how even in this country how women mate, height. Let's be real. Height means a big difference. But then what are they thinking about when it's the height thing? Playing some basketball or something. Brothers are being bred for sports. And, even if you look at the drafts, football and basketball drafts, they a little bit, what they got to go through, they just kind of like, they really modern day slave auctions. I mean, yeah, I know they got some white guys in there too, but I mean, these guys' teeth are being looked at. I mean, they're being examined. I mean, yeah, they're getting paid for it, but they're not there for the intellect. Let's just keep it 100. They're not there for the intellect. And even on college campuses and stuff, it's like a lot of these schools, even though they try to act funky, and you got some people who probably don't want those brothers around. When those brothers are on a basketball court or a football field, those brothers are cool. Those same people root for them. Even though some of those same people probably, they probably got Confederate flags and stuff hanging somewhere, they root for them. But the idea of the genius bruiser appeals to me because, say you have brothers with that physical thing, but they're also highly intelligent. Think about it. Think about it now. You got some shit. You damn near have some Superman. Think about it. If you got some guy who's like a physically superior athlete, but he's also like a Rhodes Scholar. And I gotta find the name of that. That guy who went to Florida State a few years ago and had a Rhodes Scholarship. I was like, oh, okay. And you got some guys like that. I've met some athletes. They were brothers who were athletic, tall, athletic, but highly intelligent. Highly intelligent. They can kick your ass and still be intelligent. And that's an interesting thing. And I think ultimately all men, like in my books, Nice Guys and Players, I talk a lot about the body, but it's a physical development thing. And when I do coaching, I tell dudes, if they undersized, hit the gym. If they overweight, hit the gym. Get the body together. See, one of the things, like I know a brother, and this brother's a certified genius, right? And he had a quote. He said, the stronger the body, the stronger the spirit can become. Now, this brother's real deep, real spiritual, but he can also throw up 400 pounds. And even though he's in his 50s, he could probably hang in a sprint with some guys in their 20s. One of the things I think brothers need to embrace, especially thinking black men, don't focus on the cerebral to the point of neglecting the physical. There's no law that says you can't be both. And that's something I personally embrace. Being both, having a physical presence, being able to throw up the weights, but then being intelligent as well. In fact, at this gym I used to work at, I mentioned this gym a few times because so much stuff of what I was talking about was evidenced at this gym. But there was this one brother. This brother was maybe about, maybe about 6'1". Threw up 400 easily, 4 plates per side, right? This dude one time he could be in the locker room discussing like million-dollar business deals with people. That's how thorough he was. I mean, this dude was like a financial genius. But he was also a boxer too. He threw up 400 pounds. He was a genius bruiser. And I think one of the things, and I've seen this, and I've seen this, and this is one criticism I have of some thinking brothers. Sometimes if they don't have that same physical appearance or physical presence, they try to put down the brothers who do. But the thing is, you can have both. And funny is, as bad as it's kept, and I've met a lot of dudes who are on that more physical thing, who are open to learning some stuff, even if they might be called thugs or pretty boys or something, believe it or not. Because when I had my book stand years ago, it was those same thug and pretty boy types who would buy out my like esoteric books and stuff. Like they would head straight there and they would want to know, hey, what's this about? What can we talk about this and stuff? And I've met a lot. I mean, it's not an impossible thing. A man can be both. He can have that physical, muscular presence that can turn on a woman, but he can also be highly intelligent as well. And he can be that genius bruiser. He can be, I mean, shoot, I'm known some cats that shoot. They can box, martial arts, but then they can get deeply philosophical. I knew a Nation in Islam brother like that. That dude had the women going crazy. He's about throw up the weights, but that dude can get real deep on some philosophical shit. So that genius bruiser thing, I mean, go for it. I mean, if you really look at it, you know, that's considered the uber mesh, the real Superman. Like I mentioned some fictional characters. One of my favorite characters, and this is from the Star Trek universe, is maybe one of my all-time favorite characters. There's one other character that's my all-time favorite, but this ain't the video to discuss that character because that gets into some more political stuff. But the character of Khan Noonien Singh from the Star Trek, because that dude was, I mean, especially as played by Ricardo Montalban, not so much by Benedict Cumberbatch, but that dude was, if you watch the original Space Seed, that dude was a straight up pimp. That dude just had, I mean, that dude, you know, highly intelligent, had a physical presence, and was a player too. Like Google Khan the Pimp. In fact, I think I'll try to put that in the description box. Khan the Pimp. So anyway, check it. Embrace that whole. That's one thing. If you rolling with Rom, if you one of the guys who really want to roll with Rom, embrace that whole genius bruiser thing. You know, get that body tight, strong, everything. But, you know, be the type that could sit anywhere and discuss deep metaphysics, philosophy, economics, could really get into a very intellectual conversation. You know, be that uber mesh, that Superman, you know, that genius bruiser. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.